All right, it is today, the day of days, that I am going to be C6ing my Bennett, and I'm going to see how much damage my Mavuika actually gains from this. We're going into 6.0, and given the trajectory of way that supports are going, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm a new main DPS, oh, I have a dedicated support, nice. That does seem to be the way that the game is going, so I'm not necessarily super, afraid to C6 my Bennett anymore, right? We'll see if it ever comes into, this is gonna be a funny video to look back on if it comes to bite me in the butt, but I don't think it will. I think we will be fine. 1.86, and then, yeah, we can see all this. There we go. And then we can see even more damage because, of course, we can. Because, of course, that thing sucks. I don't know if you noticed, but we didn't crit twice. My Mavuika has 95% crit rate. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people start to say, well, if you don't crit on Mavuika, listen, it is a choice to have 95% crit rate. And yes, if I look like I'm shiny right now, my room is that hot. It is. So I don't want to record any longer than I have to. So let's go ahead and let's get to this. We're going to C6 Bennett. Basically, if you don't know what C6 Bennett does, it just gives, Sword and Claymore and Polearm characters infusion. And then every character gets 15% pyro damage. You don't have to be Sword, Claymore, or Polearm. So let's go ahead. Let's get it going. I will be very interested to see how crazy this gets. All right, so let's get this going. All right, the newly C6'd Bennett. Let's see how much damage we can throw out of this. It's gonna not crit. I'm calling it. It's not gonna crit. 1.95. All right, sure. And then a little bit more there, and then a little bit more there, and of course. Did you expect me to crit? Did you expect me to be able to crit? Oh, buddy. Oh, you're classic, man. Just amazing. All right. That sucked. Genuinely. Like, I didn't crit twice there. What is wrong with this? But almost 2 million damage with my Mavuika. So I would say, honestly, C6ing Bennett is probably like over nearly like 400,000 damage gain, maybe. I don't know. We gained 60,000 on the normal melt charge attack, right? And then obviously every single other charge. Did I say 60? I meant 30. We gained 30,000 on the normal melt charge attack. We got 720,000, which I think it was 680,000 before, so that was 40,000. So maybe around 300,000 damage, I would say, is probably what we gained, honestly. So not bad. I'll take it. I will absolutely take it. It's some decent amount of damage, gain. I'm not gonna complain about it. Now, I don't really have a use for, Bennett C6 beyond this, because at this point, using Arlecchino just feels bad, because whenever I use her, it's either with Silali, which just feels bad, or it's with, another character, which also, I don't want to talk about it. I get there's a window in Mavuika's attack pattern that allows her to, lose the Obsidian Codex crit rate. If you don't know that, that is a true thing that happens. But there's a window, and typically that window is one attack. And even if it's not one attack, I still have 55% crit rate. I failed that almost every single time in this video. Like, all right, I'm literally like Bennett. I C6 Bennett, and my room is just like my hand's shiny. Probably, I'm assuming you can see it. Okay, my camera just triggered to start moving, I think. Not really much else I could say. I mean, I can look at the footage, give you guys a direct number of what I think actually it looked like, because I'll be able to see every single hit. Was it worth it, right? I guess I can ask that question. At this point, yes, because I don't use weak characters at this point, right? So, Ayaka, right? One, I'm not using Ayaka with, Bennett anymore, because now we have Miss Coffee, right? I'm pretty sure Ayaka is a character who her infusion could be overridden because this, right? She gains, where's her? Because she gains, the thing. See, it does not say here that she can, not be uninfused, or this will be overridden or something. I don't know what it is. But if we go ahead and we use Ayaka, right? If I figure out a team where I'm actually using Ayaka, I don't actually use Ayaka on any of these teams because she's trash. I guess I can try Arlecchino, but quickly I do want to showcase Ayaka plus, C6 Bennett, and show that Ayaka will be doing pyro attacks, just because that's the way that the cookie crumbles when it comes to C6 Bennett. It's one of the reasons, like, this is the main reason you do not C6 Bennett, right? And as you will notice, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, no, you still have a red mark at the top of your screen. Yeah. that's a funny thing. Yeah, as you can see, she's still, you know, if she's in the ring, it's pyro attacks, right? So you understand that, right? If she's in the ring, she's gonna be doing pyro attacks, even if she does her dash. That's still gonna happen. Now, some of you might be wondering, why do you still have a thing? Well, my good friends, I will never be accepting Kokomi's friendship bonus because I hate Kokomi. That has been a deep hatred on this channel that goes around like 3 years ago. This hatred started towards this character, and yeah, she's fallen off considerably to the point where she has a weird lifespan of like, oh, she's awful, good for freeze, awful again, good Nilu Bloom, awful again. And that is where this character has, come from. Like, she really has not aged well, especially past 4.0. So she can stay here and be my most hated character. Dumb design to not give this character the ability to crit. I have no idea why they chose to do that. It was literally just a limiting factor in her abilities. It doesn't matter if she was supposed to be a healer. It just basically meant that you would never be able to build her as a somewhat competent damage dealer. And if she was able to crit, I guarantee a lot of people would have built her with damage in mind, because she can hit good numbers already. And if she was able to crit, then you'd be able to do even better numbers. So yeah, and especially with MH set nowadays. You have MH set nowadays, 36% crit rate built in. This character, just running her on, like, you know, I don't know, full EM or something for Nilu Bloom, and then you're running, you know, you can use Bloom, you can use her on maybe a, you know, Fiorina team, use her as the DPS, Fiorina, and then, you know, the electrocharge characters. I don't know what you would do, whatever you would choose to do. But now you don't do that because this character's damage is actually pathetic, and like 20,000 is good on a, like, it's like her on a good day. That is where 20,000 comes from. That's not, you know, like, she could have at least been competent, used off-field damage dealers. She can still do that, but now it's not, like, it's literally like, might as well just use Barbara, right? There's nothing separating this character, like, you know, Kokomi and Barbara at this point in the game. Nothing. Kokomi, you know, there's better hydro applicators, there are better hydro healers, right? Well, maybe not that, I don't know, but you know, I would say Fiorina's a better hydro healer, especially if you're on a Bloom team. You just could use Fiorina as your healer. I mean, wouldn't be bad. She's not gonna be applying hydro, that's the only issue. So yeah, I am extremely hot. So let's get into testing out Arlecchino. So let's get going into this. You know, subscribe, by the way. Just do it, because I'm literally burning myself alive at this point. Yeah, it's great times in my room. I'm going to probably die of heat stroke, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine, chat. The show must go on. Let's go ahead and see what we can cook up with. So 470, right? So 470, not too bad at all. I'm not gonna hate on it. I'm not gonna hate on, you know, 470. Not bad. You know, overall, pretty good. Nothing more to say, really. Nothing more to say. Pretty good. My Arlecchino does a lot of damage still when, you know, using her on Melt, obviously, because she's C2, right? I do love Arlecchino still. Hopefully, you know, people have been like, you know, hoping that Durin, I think he's pyro or something when we look at the trailer. People think he's pyro and he could be like a vape support. If he is, Arlecchino could come back into my, you know, rotation of play, because this character on vape is like a lot better to use than Melt, right? I hate this character on Melt, especially with her C2. But yeah, I'm gonna die of heat stroke real quick, so you guys can go ahead and click off the video. Bye.